Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another Looped In with Maritza. My name is Maritza Gertie, your host. I hope that you have had a very manageable, enjoyable beginning part of this week, and that all of you are staying warm wherever you're located, that you're also making sure that your families and loved ones are safe, that there are no issues, that you're in good health. I am very, very excited to be here with you all today for this viewing of Looped In with Maritza, because I am bringing on a very vibrant group of people, of young people. You know that I always strive to always have a variety of guests. So this time I will have the pleasure of having a group of young people that are part of the Children's First Pennsylvania Justice and Education Fellowship Program. So allow me to start letting them in so that they can all introduce themselves and we can get this conversation started. Welcome, everyone. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so happy to see so many faces on here. I'm like, woo! I'm gonna let you guys know this. This is the first time I've had this many guests on at one time.
Yes.
So it'll be a first for me, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna rock this out. So, what is JIE?
Well, first they're going to start out introducing themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, my name's Michaela. I'm 18 years old, and I go to Pennsylvania State main campus. And I'm from Philadelphia.
My name is Jalen Walker. I am 16 years old. I attend the Girard Academic Music Program, and I am also from Philadelphia.
My name's Talia Flavin. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Bucks County, and I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Delaware.
My name is Gwen Shapiro. I'm 17. I'm from Montgomery County, and I go to Lower Merion High School.
And my name is Diana Coleman, and I am the lucky boomer that has the honor of working with these young people. Thank you all for having us, Maritza.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for having us. So kind of, kicking it off with the first question you asked, what is JIE? So I think all of us, have like a different idea of what JIE is. But, for me personally, JIE is a group of students from all over the southeastern Pennsylvania area who just want to creatively use their voice to advocate for all students across Pennsylvania.
Wonderful. And is now when you would like for me to show that wonderful video?
No, they're not done. Go ahead, keep going, y'all.
For me, I would say JIE is like a mentoring program where you train up people to lead and to advocate and to get ready for college resumes and everything such as. And I really think it's a great program to get young people involved in.
We're a group of empowered students with the shared goal of advocating for fair funding in our schools regardless of zip code.
In JIE, we train students how to use their voices to hold Harrisburg politicians accountable and responsive to PA students. At this time, we would like you to hear why we chose to become JIE fellow mentors.
Take it away, Maritza.
I'm an advocate because I think that there are so many people who are ignorant of the injustices of the system and that the injustices really just need to be exposed.
I'm an advocate because I've witnessed a huge gap in access to education and opportunity, and it is important to me to use my strengths and privileges to help close that gap. I feel that my education has afforded me opportunities that everyone should have access to. To me, being an advocate means standing up for people who deserve more and using my voice to give back and help others. Being an advocate has allowed me to meet incredible people and build my leadership skills.
As a young child, I was very shy and oftentimes felt like I didn't have a voice to speak up or, in other words, advocate for myself. Over time, I overcame that fear, and now I want to use my voice to help those who feel like they don't have their own voice to speak up for themselves. In addition to that, I want to help those same people learn that they too can advocate for themselves in ways that are comfortable and suitable for them. You too can be an advocate.
I'm an advocate because it's good to speak up for what is right. It can change and empower the world. And when you stand up for yourself, it allows you to be your true authentic self and not have people speak over you. And there be a good communication within the people around you on how you feel and what you truly value in. And I'm an advocate because it's my everything, and we should all grow into being our true selves towards all of us being leaders and followers. Be an advocate for justice and education.
I am an advocate because I believe in justice, positive change, and being able to make a difference. To me, advocacy is a collective responsibility to create a positive impact, to amplify the voices of those who are unheard, and to build a society that reflects our shared values. But to make that change, we first have to be that change. This means to speak out about our truths so that others can understand our experiences. So at JIE, we fight for justice for equitable education, because I believe we are all deserving of an equal chance at good education. Our education should not be dependent on who we are or where we come from. So, come join us to be an advocate for justice in education.
I'm an advocate because we must be the change that we want to see in the world. We must continue the climb that our ancestors started so many years ago. They gave us a head start, and so we owe it to them and the next generation to not let their sacrifices go in vain. We owe it to ourselves because we deserve better. As my grandfather said, everything we fought for is not written in stone. We cannot be complacent. Be an advocate for justice and education.
Woo! Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Yes.
I love the video. It was
Yes.
great. So tell me, the young lady, and she's not on here, but the young lady that said, was very adamant about speaking your truth. I don't know why I do not see your names aren't showing up anymore, but I see it over here in the bottom. So Talia, tell me, when was the moment that you felt you needed to be more outspoken about what you saw around you regarding access to education?
So I had a very privileged education experience. And when I was in high school, I was involved with my local coalition called New Hope Soulbury Cares. And we actually got to go to Harrisburg with Children First. And I met some awesome kids from Morrisville, which is not that far from me. And they were just sharing their experiences before we spoke with representatives. And I think I'd always known that, like, I was so lucky and not everyone has it this way. And my parents talked a lot about inequity, but I didn't really see it until right then. I was like, wait, these guys just grew up 15 minutes from me. Why aren't they being afforded the same opportunities than I am? So it just kind of like clicked right there. And I was like, whoa, how can I help?
Okay. Michaela, can you answer the question for me as well? What was it? When was the point when you said, you know what, I need to speak up about what I'm seeing?
Right. I've been an advocate in different spaces. And so I jumped into the education advocacy group because of the mayoral debates that were happening this year. I depending on what candidate won, the schools were going to be impacted differently.
Correct.
And so therefore, I felt like seeing as though I had a gift in speaking out, seeing as though I have a gift in when I speak, people listen. Seeing as because I touch people, I felt as though I could use that for to better our school system for the next generation, for us as well, but for the next generation especially. Um, and so I just felt as though it was I don't know, it was something that I was pulled to. It was something that I was drawn to.
Thank you very much. Now, Gwen, I'm going to be jumping around because I don't want to ask each of you the same question. So, Gwen, I want to ask you this: how important is youth and civic engagement to you?
To me, it is very important. I think that especially for education, because really we're really being impacted. And I think that a lot of the politicians are kind of, older and kind of don't really understand as well as like people as students do about education, and don't understand like the real state of crisis that schools and students are in. um, and I think it's really important to have that youth voice so they know, there are people paying attention to you. Like, we might not be able to vote, but we're gonna hold you accountable. And you need to make sure that the education system is adequate.
Thank you, Jail. This same question goes for you. How important is youth and and civic engagement for you?
I would say is very important. Um, to what Gwen said, a lot of politicians are older, and if it was up to me, I would actually like probably get more youth involved into like civics and stuff of the matter. I'm sorry, civics and stuff of the matter, because like children have a voice too, and we live day to day in this world and the society that adults make these choices for us. And I feel as if though we need to be able to speak out of what we need and what we think works better for us instead of like every adult making the decision for us.
Okay. So this is more of a group question. I just want you to raise your hand if you've ever had it. Most of two of you are in high school, two of you are in college, correct? So have you actually had a civics class where they taught you civics? Okay. And and on average, you as well, Michaela, you had it as well.
Yes,
You are
I was trying at the
okay.
very, very, very end of my high school, like my 12th grade year of my high school year.
Okay, okay. Because I mean, I am a Gen Xer. I don't know what Miss Diana is, but I'm a Gen Xer, and I had civics when I was in high school. I was actually in the 10th grade, but they split it between civics and law. So my children, I have a 33-year-old, 27-year-old, a now 19-year-old. Michaela, you probably know my daughter Mecca.
Yes!
And then
Oh my God!
yes, I'm Mecca's mom, and I have two 7-year-olds. So my children have not had civics taught in school, but they know civics taught by my family, my husband and I,
Right.
and my mom and my sister. They've seen it in action through us.
Right.
Not every student, not every child has that example in their home. So Miss Diana, tell me, do you feel that if it is our educational system's responsibility to offer civics education to our young people?
Absolutely. I think it's the, our youth are spend half of their life in the academic setting. And so yes, we are their first teachers, but they have a huge responsibility to empower and pour into our youth just as well, equally. Yeah. And so something like civic engagement, something like government, something like law, these are things our young people need to, things like financial responsibility. All of those things are things that our young people need to know when they're coming up, so they understand the importance of them being a part of the process when they're young. So then when they are older, when they are 18, we're not trying to make them sign up to register to vote, because they understand that at this high level, where the decisions are being made, how it impacts them, just like Jalen said, how it impacts them on the ground level.
Correct.
From the books that are in their schools to the facilities, to the opportunities as far as having AP classes or advanced classes, to extracurricular activities, to housing, to food access, to employment, all those social determinants of health that impact their overall life expectancy and overall well-being. If they learn this stuff when they're children, when they're in school, then they'll understand their responsibility as far as being civically engaged.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if you guys know, in the state of New Jersey, in the city of Newark, New Jersey, they just enacted and passed a bill that will allow teens as young as I believe 16 to be able to register to vote. Can you imagine what kind of impact that's going to have in that city when it comes to local elections and major elections to have, that came from young people really advocating and making sure that they're heard and listened to.
Yes.
There's a difference in hearing somebody and listening to somebody.
Absolutely.
So it's an amazing thing. I want to come over here to my banners, and someone here, one of the viewers, and I had put up her comment. Miss Shayla, she's watching this from Alabama, y'all. So you guys are being seen
Alabama
across the country. That's right. Interesting that they do not offer it anymore. She says, I never thought about that, because that's the thing. A lot of things that were part of many adults or older people, as you guys were saying, education is no longer being offered now. And I don't know if it's a matter of a budgeting issue, but things that are important to help improve your knowledge base should never be redlined and removed from curriculum.
Absolutely.
Get rid of the stuff that doesn't work, but the stuff that does work and help you improve your thinking, your judgment on certain things based on what you're learning should never be removed from your curriculum in your schools. I'm gonna go to another question, and I will let anyone that wants to answer this talk about it. For those of you that are watching that do not know, in the state of Pennsylvania last year, there was a historic decision. There was a lawsuit against the Pennsylvania Department of Education, brought on by some parents that felt very strongly and some organizations that felt very strongly that their children's education in their communities, in their families, they weren't getting a even slice of the pie, for lack of a better term. I do know that in the state of Pennsylvania, the amount allotted per pupil is one of the lowest in the country. And then specifically, depending on what school district you live in, it could be the difference of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars even. So who wants to touch upon this? What was your involvement as a young person when it came to the conversations about this verdict, the lawsuit in itself, if you were a part of it, if you were advocating for it, if you became an activist outside of the state capitol in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania? Anyone that wants to jump in and share?
I can share about the lawsuit. So yeah, in Pennsylvania, there is very high spending per student, but it's very inequitable spending compared to other states. We have some of the largest achievement gaps. And what this lawsuit, it basically talked about was it declared that it was unconstitutional because it violated the state constitution. And the plaintiffs, they won. It was a very long lawsuit, originally filed in 2014, but the verdict just came out last year about it. And so now it's kind of, we're passing the ball to the General Assembly, to the legislature, to the governor, and now they have a court order to fix it.
And so how are you involved in that, Gwen?
So I'm involved in that. I personally have written some op-eds about it, and I am involved with Children First, and I was at the Capitol for a rally. One rally, there were multiple rallies. I was personally there for one. That's what I've done. I didn't hear about the lawsuit until it was well underway. Again, the complaint was filed in 2014. I didn't hear about it until about a year before the verdict came out. But yeah, it's the lawsuit is a big deal.
What do you hope? What okay? Although a verdict was given in favor of those that filed it, we know that a lot of things, as far as the justice system, depending on the matter, can move very slowly. So although the lawsuit was won, it may not be until whoever's still in high school on this call is already out of high school for several years before we start seeing the effects of these monies. Because what was actually, I don't know if you know this, aside from the verdict and the amount, there will actually be a need for an additional close to $7 billion more dollars on top of what the lawsuit asked for to make it really equitable across the state of Pennsylvania for all of the children in Pennsylvania. So knowing that, does it sort of feel like, okay, it's going to happen, but I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to feel. I'm not going to be a beneficiary of this. What do you say to parents and guardians of students who have younger children? Because I have two second graders right now. So they may get to see it because they're in the second grade. They'll see it eventually, maybe by the time they hit middle school, the way things go. Hopefully sooner. What message would you say as a young person to parents and families and the leaders of school districts regarding when these monies come down the pipeline, what should they focus on, in your opinion?
Well, the recent report by the Basic Education Funding Commission, it includes in its report recommendations for what the school districts could do with the money. The additional money, the report, it recommends that it be distributed over the next 7 years. But I should also mention nothing that the BEFC report said should it's not none of it is final. It's ultimately up to the governor and to the legislator about if they are going to adopt those. So again, and year after year, it's really the budget. So the work's not over just because the lawsuit just because of the lawsuit verdict. It's still going to depend on, you know, before every budget season, really holding lawmakers accountable. So you can call your legislators, email your legislators, use your voice in other ways, just like we will be teaching you how to do in JIE. So you can use your voice and um, learn how to make your voice heard.
And also, Maritza, I think this could be a good subway into um, the young people saying exactly what they're going to be doing within JIE, because just like Gwen said, this is an opportunity for young people to step up and start using their voice so that they can hold those lawmakers accountable. So some of the ways that that's going to be done is how, y'all? How's that going to be done? Or how can that be done?
So, what I'm especially excited for within JIE is the digital advocacy that we're going to be doing. I'm getting my degree in communications, and so I really enjoy doing all the creating the flyers, creating the infographics, some of the behind the scenes work, but I'm also interested in creating events and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that digital advocacy, helping teens or students develop their public speaking skills, putting together rallies, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So
I am super excited to work with our fellow other students who are just getting into advocacy work. I can't wait to see them like come into their own and understand how important their voice is. Because I remember when I was in high school, the first time I walked into like a governor's office, I was like so timid. And I have realized then that me as a 14-year-old, that means so much to an adult if I'm saying this is what we need you to work on for us and for people who are younger than us. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Well, if you couldn't tell by the school I attend and the little music notes I have on my shirt, I am a performer and I sing, I dance, I act, I write, I play piano, you name it. And what I'm looking forward to is using these things to advocate and to teach kids and peers the same.
I'm looking forward to building ties and coalitions across school districts in order to bring unity to the cause and be stronger.
And I'm gonna elaborate on what Jalen said, because it's not just about singing. Like, Jalen is an artist, and oftentimes, you can use art in
Yes, you
order
can.
to advocate. So she does plays, she sings, she's a writer, she plays instruments. So how can we use the arts in order to amplify our youth voices in an artistic way? Because that's healing. And music and art brings people together, which is one of the reasons why we want to advocate for more funds, so that all the schools can have arts and creative arts
Yeah.
within their schools. You know what I mean? So Jalen is important to this process because she is an artist and she brings a different type of lens, a lighter lens to politics.
Oh my gosh. I am loving what you guys are saying. Folks that are watching, agreeing, absolutely. Hi, Judith. I have some folks that are tuning in just to, see what, just to see. I mean, seeing all of you. I always strive to have young people on as much as possible, and hearing all of you. And one thing that these people, these elected officials, need to realize is that the young people are watching.
Yes.
Young people are watching. Young
Yes.
people are waiting until they can't wait till they turn 18 years of age so that they can go ahead and, depending on when a person is 17, about to be 18, they could register early and be ready. Be absolutely ready to make that choice, to walk in that booth, to submit that sealed ballot. It's an exciting opportunity. When my daughter was able to vote, she was so excited because she got tired of always, from the time she was born, she was always going in the booth with us,
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
When she was finally able to do it on her own, her little brother and sister like, what am I going to do it? Well, right now they have about 11 more years. So, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, but until then, we bring them inside the booth with us so they can see, the names. They can see the candidates. They can see the party they're part of. All those kinds of things. And this is by leading by example.
Absolutely.
And I'm quite sure a lot of your counterparts, a lot of your peers, although they may not be in this fellowship with you, they're watching.
Yes.
And you were being that example for them. And they, maybe next year, maybe next go around, the next course module, when Miss Diana is saying, okay, when you guys finish this fellowship, and it comes time for the next group of young people to apply, maybe some of your friends will be like, you know what, I think I'm gonna be a part of that program you were a part of.
Absolutely.
Because I saw you doing things and saying things, and I saw you maturing in ways, and I need some of that. And I bet your parents are just thrilled.
Absolutely.
How do your parents feel about you being that's a good question. How do your parents feel about your involvement, your advocacy work right now?
Mine's on the call.
Come on.
No.
Who's on the call?
Well, I'll answer that question. I'm very proud of Michaela, because Michaela wasn't always a very outspoken young lady. She used to be very shy. She used to be very timid when she was in elementary school, and so.
Gosh, I would never guess that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. She took me to my first protest. I wanted to get back in the car.
I think she was about 8 years old. And I took her to her first protest, and she was so scared. She wanted to get back in the car. She wanted to run back in the car, And then as she got older, I just kept taking her to protest. And next thing I know, she's grabbing the bullhorn and she's leading protest. And you've got thousands of people following her.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, she's starting to speak at protest. And then next thing you know, people like Kendra Brooks is asking her to intern for city council.
Exactly.
And then next thing you know, like, she ended up moderating a mayor's candidate forum.
And that was amazing. That was amazing.
So just watching her come into her own and go from being timid to fearless, it's been beautiful. And because of her experiences, that's why she's going to school for communications now.
There you go.
So it's just watching her evolve as from a young child to a young lady into a professional. It's been exciting. And so that just lets me know what you pour into a child, that's what you get out.
Oh my gosh.
Even though Michaela wasn't 18 years old last year, that didn't prevent her from being at the polls, volunteering at the polls.
There you go.
So that's what it does. And I'm gonna say this, Michaela, that wasn't always, sometimes, you, Maritza, I'm sure you can relate to this. Sometimes your kids are like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
All the time.
Because everything you do, you have them doing too. But then as they get old, and you don't know if they're really internalizing the things that you're teaching them.
Yes.
But then when they go off on their own, you're like, okay, she got it.
That's right. I could say that that happened. I see a lot more with Mecca than with my older sons. But because my older sons, they basically grew up with me. And for those of us that were young parents, we know how it is if you're a teen parent and your children grow up with you, you mature together. Yes. And you may not see everything that you've instilled in them. But when you become more mature as an adult and then you have other children, it's a different kind of relationship. And you get to see a little bit more. Because, when you're young and you're a teenager, it's like, everything's fast and I gotta grow up fast and I gotta take care of my child.
Yeah.
But when you're already an adult and you have a job and you have a little bit of time to pause and you're seeing it. You're seeing it with Michaela. Your parents are seeing it with you, each one of you, your growth, your personal growth. This is going to be something, excuse me, when you're in your 20s, when you're in your 30s, you're going to be like, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. I was a part of that. And you could then, you could have some teenagers call you older and say, I remember when, and then somebody gonna call you older, and you're gonna be like,
oh. They can't even imagine it. They can't even imagine
it. But even to just take it a step farther though, because just how my aunt didn't know if I had it, I didn't even know, we don't even know if we had it. So it's kind of just like, cause when we're here, high school moves so fast. It's, you're doing this, you're in after school clubs, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing this. College, you're competing with this person for this, you're competing with this person for this. And instead of the pace moving like this, because you got your parents in your face about your routines and your face about everything on planet Earth, now you're the only person in your face and you're just like, oh, okay. Now when she said I have no life, I actually have no life. Got it. Okay, cool. You have to figure out where to go from there. You know what I mean? But as you go through things and as you understand things, like I'm gonna be very vulnerable for a second. I was crying like 2 seconds before I got on this call. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And after I get off, I'm gonna go cry some more. But she taught me you still gotta do what you gotta do, but you can still, prioritize yourself at the end of the day. Yeah. So you know what I mean? So it's that you're not always gonna have it, and then sometimes you are gonna have it.
Okay, so I'm going to add something here because you guys are experiencing something now at an early stage in your life as younger folks. You're experiencing support, development, encouragement, and inclusion. And you may feel that after this fellowship program, the next challenge or the next task that's going to come to you, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Miss Diana spoiled me. Those folks at Children First spoiled me because I was able to do XYZ while I was with them. And these people over here, I don't know. But that's what's called growth and learning experience. Just like when you have a regular adult job when you're older, you may come across a job that offers you enormous amount of support and development and encouragement and inclusion, but you also may feel on your career path as an adult, you may come across a situation where you don't get as much support. You don't get development. You don't get as much encouragement or even be included. But this is the foundation of how you know things should be. So that you'll be able to make a decision. I know what I am worth.
Yeah.
I know what I can bring to the table.
Yes.
I know how much energy I can give to this as long as it's reciprocal.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So if you would have met me when I was in middle school, you'd be like, who is this little mean, insecure, just little thing yelling at me? I was like totally like, I'm going to hit everybody else so they can't hit me first. So you would have maybe thought that I was confident, but I was really like, oh my gosh, just please, like, don't look at me. And I have like wonderful parents, thank God, but I have three older brothers, and they were like, all right, we've seen some of this before. We have to let you come into your own and figure it out. Not that they would tolerate me, like, being mean or whatever I was doing, but I just completely transformed, and I ended up getting involved in all these amazing clubs at my high school. So I got to get involved in civic engagement and all that whole world. And my parents were just blown away, like, what happened to her. And they still can't believe it. They say it all the time, like, I can't believe you're the same kid. So this world has given me more than I could ever give it.
For me, my mom is extremely proud. And I say that because it took a lot for me to get where I was today. And a lot of people look at children and don't think that children face a lot of things in their lives. But for me, as a younger child, I was going through a lot. And it took a lot for me to even speak for myself, let alone like 20s, 30, 40, 50 people at a time. And to be where I am today, to be able to advocate for myself and others at the same time, she is like watching me in awe. Like, she watches me come home and get on meetings, and she's so proud. She watches me do the things I do at like other places, and she's just proud. And I'm like, I don't know, it makes me feel good that she's proud at me. So
you guys are examples of and I'm going to put this on here. Each of you is an example of really activating your social activism.
Yes.
You are not just sitting by and complaining about what you see going on around you. You're seeing something that you know that not only affects you, but affects your peers, the other young people in your community, and you're stepping up and stepping forward and making sure that your voices are heard, that your concerns are adhered to, and that you're taken seriously. Even at your young ages, you are giving us older folks hope in knowing that there are people out there that will come in, behind us, because you guys are coming from behind.
Yes.
But it will be able to take the torch and move it forward. So now you guys know what you guys are going to be responsible for.
Absolutely.
You guys know what you're going to be responsible for? Who going to tell me? Who can tell me?
Well, tell them what y'all responsible for.
Who you going to be responsible for?
Well, first and foremost, I'm responsible for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. She's like,
no. We're responsible to just as our ancestors gave us an inch, a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. It's our job to do that for the next generation, so that they don't have it the exact same way that we had it. They have it better.
That's it. That's it right there. All you can ever hope in everything that you are doing right now today is with the hope that it'll be better for those coming up behind you, that you're, when you get that foot in that door, you're opening it up and bringing everybody else in with you. Just remember that
Yes.
you are, and then young people are watching you, younger people. When you guys are now going to these rallies or standing in front of City Hall or going to school board meetings or going to the state capitol, hell, I'm waiting to see you guys up on the hill. I'm talking
Yes.
about Capitol Hill in DC.
Yes.
When
Yes.
young people see you guys there
Yes.
advocating for what's going on, because it's not just a state issue, it's a nationwide issue, it's a
Yes.
world issue.
Yes.
You guys are representatives of not only your family and your community and your state, you are representative of all young people.
Absolutely.
All the young people that are going to watch this, and I'm hoping it gets shared out because I continuously share it. My hope is to always leave whoever watches my podcast with something to think about. So, Miss Diana, tell our viewers, if they have young folks in their lives, what can they do to be more active?
You know what? I'm gonna young people, what do you all want to leave them with before I say something? What is that one thing you all want to leave these young people with?
I really want to make sure that young people know that their voice matters and they can use it to create change, no matter how small they feel.
I kind of just want to leave you guys with take your time to analyze. Take your time to see things for what they are. And take your time to, I don't like this. And be okay to say that I don't like this. And be comfortable using your voice. Because the only way things are going to change is if you do.
And that isn't always going to be comfortable.
It's
But
not.
growth happens when things are uncomfortable. That's where growth resides.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jalen and Gwen. What do you all want to say?
I'm sorry. I would like to add that it doesn't matter of your age. And if you don't mind me getting a little spiritual for a moment, there were kings in the Bible who were 8 years old, 14 years old. Like, it doesn't matter of your age. You too can speak out for yourself. You too can get people involved. You too can be your own advocate. And one day even be advocate for other people. Don't let your age define you.
I just want to encourage people to get involved and to really mobilize, because I think we can all tell that things are falling apart around us, and that really schools and youth right now are just in a state of crisis, and we really just need to stand up for ourselves and come together and make noise about it, really.
And so how can people become a part of Justice in Education, y'all?
You can go to the JIE landing page on Children First, and you'll be directed to a Google form.
I have it right here. I'm gonna bring it right up, and I'm also going to include it in the comments as well.
Yeah.
For anyone.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so when you go to the landing page, once there, you'll be getting information about JIE, and then you'll be led to a page to sign up. The Google link is also in the chat. You can sign up to be a JIE fellow, a JIE mentor like we are, a speaker to speak at one of the JIE workshops or rallies or whatever community engagements we do, a host site to host some of our workshops, or just to help us. Or just help with some of the stuff we'll be doing. Y'all make that make sense.
And please share this with
the link. Yes, I put the link in the chat for anyone that's interested in information.
Yes.
The program is called the Justice in Education Fellowship Program.
Yes.
If you are, tell us, are we going to be sharing what's happening February 7th, Miss Diane, and how people can
We are. What were
Join
you
on
about
to
to
that.
say, Talia? Because I'm gonna say that after you finish, Talia.
I was just going to say, please share this with any young people in your life that might want to be involved.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So to that point, as far as sharing and getting involved, we do have our first call to action is going to be February 7th. And so February 7th, Children's First is going to be taking a host of youth, parents, advocates, teachers, anyone that wants to come along with us. We are going to Harrisburg. It is the anniversary to the day that the decision was made that the way funding is distributed is inequitable. I mean, not inequitable, unconstitutional. And so on that day of February 7th, we are taking busload of people. So we want everyone to be a part of that experience. I'm gonna be there. Some of these young people are gonna be there.
I'm going to be there.
Maritza's gonna be there. I already saw that Jalen signed up, so Jalen's gonna be with us. And so come on up to, and hopefully Gwen's gonna be there. Michaela's at Penn State, so I don't know if she's gonna meet us at Harrisburg or not. But I'm just hoping that as many people can come out to Harrisburg and fill up those buses, and let's go there as a collective and one voice, one voice. You know, we're more impactful in numbers. We're more powerful in numbers. So let's come together, y'all.
If anyone needs to send a direct message over to Justice in Education, I'm going to put also in the chat, also as well, create a banner to show you the website that you should be going to
Yes.
reach out to find out more. If my mouse would work for me as I'm talking to you guys, and it is working now, thankfully. So you will be able to see where you need to go to be able to reach out to find out more about this amazing fellowship program. It is
Yes.
for young people. Can you remind me again of the age range? It is 8th grade through 12th graders or
It's
6th grade?
you know what? We're gonna start at 7th graders. So it's gonna
Okay.
be it's 7th graders to 12th graders. Again, our first call to action is February 7th. After that, we're starting workshops, and you all are gonna be infused with civic learning and meeting lawmakers and meeting your local superintendents and your local community organizers. You're going to be learning how to do storytelling. You know, you're
Yes.
going to learn you're going to be learning how to write op-eds. You're going to be learning how to do public speaking.
Yes.
You're going to be doing digital advocacy work. So literally between February and April, you're just going to be inundated with a lot of information. And we're going to do it in a fun way. We're doing vision boards. We're doing a lot of neat stuff. And then between April and June, we're gonna turn it up a little bit on them. And that's when y'all are gonna take everything you've learned and we're gonna put it to action. So that's when you all are gonna actually be going to Harrisburg. You're gonna actually be doing assemblies. You're gonna be planning and hosting press conferences. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be doing that as a collective. And so come join us. That landing page that she just put in the website, in the chat, that Google form that she just put in the chat, all of that will give you all the information you need in order to go to Harrisburg with us on the 7th, in order to sign up for this program. I'm meeting with parents and also teens on this Monday, the 29th and the 30th, to just talk to them briefly about Children's First and also what justice in education is. So y'all, come on, be a part of the movement. Justice in education, y'all.
I can't believe how much time has gone by. I'm going to ask that each of you gave some advice to young people. I want you to take 30 seconds each for your word of advice to the adults, the older folks, as you guys will call it.
The boomers.
Yes, the Gen Xers, the boomers, yes. What advice do you want to give to them?
Give it to us, y'all. Give it to us.
I think, first of all, this seems kind of obvious, but listen to the young people in your life. You said, Miss Maritza, a little bit earlier that there's a difference between hearing and listening.
Yes.
So really actually listen to the young people in your life because they have more opinions than they might come off as having. And also, don't give up just because you're not going to reap the benefits, because if you're in advocacy work, then you're not just for yourself, then you're not really an advocate. So stay involved for the younger generation and also let them talk and hear them.
Thank you.
I think what I would say is you don't have to do everything, but you have to do something.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Like y'all shout me, hey, y'all gotta do something. But I think a lot of times as older people, as parents, y'all forget that y'all are people too. And y'all start living for other people. And so therefore, like y'all talked about always being on go. That go isn't always healthy for y'all. You know what I mean? That go isn't always kind to y'all. You know what I mean? And then you reach the end of the week and now you're burnt out and now, you know what I mean? So I think you don't have to do everything, but you have to do something.
So thank you.
I hear you, Michaela. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, daughter. I am listening. I hear you.
I want to rehash on the fact of listening, because that's actually a very major component. Like, you need to hear what young people are saying, but on top of listening, have conversations with your children. Like, your children have a lot to say about a lot of different opinions, and most time adults try to shut them down because you too young, you don't know what you're talking about. Stay out of grown folks' business. But we have opinions, and we sometimes believe it or not, we sometimes know what we're talking about. And you should have these type of conversations, because maybe like these are the conversations that will advance us into our futures. So listen and have conversations.
They're wise, aren't they?
Very.
I just want to remind adults that they should really just keep paying attention to the stakes of what happens now, because if you look at what's projected to happen, it really isn't pretty, we are living in a world where that's projected to have more school shootings, more healthcare costs, climate wars. Really, the extent of the destruction is very, very far. And I think just recognizing hey, this is serious, we should do something about it, it's really important to just recognize just how high the stakes are and how bad things could get if we don't act.
I am so happy that you guys have given of your time to share your perspectives, to share your thoughts, your wishes. You, all of you, and your other fellows that were not able to come on here, because I know there were a couple of others that weren't able to come on. You are an example of what we have to look forward to in our young people. Keep on doing what you are doing. Diana, what I want to do is when the fellowship program is over, I want to bring them back.
Okay.
I want them to share what they've learned throughout that process.
Okay.
I want to extend that invitation out to you guys now. So get ready for me to harass you. When the fellowship is over, be ready to come back on, because I want you to talk about it, and I'm hoping that those that are watching today will also come back so they can see the changes, because I know it's going to be some amazing changes by leaps and bounds for all of you. I am going to just make a few quick community announcements. If you're not able to hang out in the green room, I understand, but please try to stay on. I'll make it quick. I want to thank you so much. Congratulations on being selected, being able to participate with your very busy lives. The best of luck, because I went through the adult version of a fellowship program with Children First. I also went to a parent kinship lab, and they added to my experience, my awareness, and my desire to advocate for young people. So, congratulations to all of you from an older person. And I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Miss
Thank
Maritza.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I hope that all of you that have been watching today truly enjoyed what was going on, what was discussed, what was shared. I hope that it made you think. I truly hope that it did make you think about the young folks around you and what they're doing, especially the ones that are speaking up and participating and being socially active. Their activism is important, needs to be encouraged and nourished at all times. As I normally do in the beginning of the podcast, I'm going to leave it for right now. Anyone in the city of Philadelphia that is looking for employment, there was supposed to be a job fair at Temple University. It was supposed to happen during Martin Luther King weekend. Due to the weather, the inclement weather, it was postponed. It will now be happening on Tuesday, the 30th of January from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It will take place at Temple University at Howard Geddes Student Center, room 200, 1755 North 13th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's a website on here, mlkjobfair2024.eventbrite.com. I will also put that information in the comments for anyone that needs to go into the comments to be able to click on the link to be able to attend this important job fair. There will be over 30 prospective employers at this job fair. So get your resumes ready, show up in person, and hopefully you will have an opportunity to secure some employment. Those of you that know me know that I have had the blessing and the privilege and the opportunity to get some amazing, amazing photos taken by my favorite photographer, KD Morris. KD Morris Photography Gives Back. This will be a charity event. Headshots for Help on Saturday, January 27th. That is this Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Candlelight Studio 215. It is at 2930 Jasper Street, Suite 201 in Philadelphia. The proceeds for this will benefit the Philadelphia Bicycle Coalition Youth Cycling Program. And the only thing that you will have to bring, they are not asking for monetary donations. What they are actually asking for is for whoever shows up for the fundraiser, be ready for a photo. You will only be able to take, go have the photo taken with the clothing you have on. You just need to bring a box, or at least a box, of granola bars, protein bars, breakfast bars, and you will have 3 to 5 professionally taken headshots. So for those of you that are in need of headshots, I have included the information. I'm going to be there because I love a charitable cause and I'm going to get a new headshot done. So this is going to be headshots for help for a very good cause. I will see you there this Saturday. I believe I have one more thing here. No, that's it. Thank you so very much again to the Justice in Education Fellowship Program Fellows, their wonderful facilitator, Miss Diana Carroll, Children's First of Pennsylvania. I want to thank you guys. You are doing the work that is needed with our children to help them get the education that they deserve. Until next week, thank you very much for watching Looped In with Maritza. Bye-bye.